Okay, I didn't do any kind of painting tutorial or assembly. So if you have any questions at all on any piece, please reach out to me and I'm more than happy to give more detail. I'm just going to show you how to do the beads on your Easter egg tag. So there are three sizes of string. You're going to want the smallest and the longest. So the one that is about, I think it's 18 inches. Set that aside for now. So let's get the longest piece. That's going to be your tassel. So I'm just going to hang it a little bit over my palm and then just start wrapping. You're all probably pros by now. And then you're going to have this loop. I'm just going to try to get the two end pieces kind of equal. And then I usually put my pinky in there for a smaller hole. And then you're going to create like that eye that I talk about so that you can string through. Get that small piece of string, leave this tassel or a piece out because that's what you're going to tie. And then tie around that top, or string around that top loop pretty tight and tie a knot. Try to make it as tight as possible. Okay, then I get a pencil. If I have, oh, I've got a pen right here. And then I'm just going to be very careful and make sure that I get through every string. I don't want to miss any because when I go to tighten it, I don't want them to be pulled through. So I got through every string, and then I'm just going to gently but firmly kind of tug just in case, oh, as I tugged way too hard, just to get this a little bit more even. As you can see, it's pretty bumpy, which you don't need it perfect, but if there's any that are like really sticking out, then this is gonna help. So once you pull that out, you can see that there's that nice, perfect eye to string through. So I'm going to trim these pieces, not right next to the knot because you don't want it to untie itself, but just enough that it's not poking way out. Every single month I say this, I need to get new, sharper scissors. I never remember till I'm making a video. And then you're going to cut through all these strings on the bottom. Make sure that you get through all of them. And then just kind of even, you see how uneven those are. Again, they don't need to be perfect, but I'm going to cut across the bottom just to even them out a little bit better. It'll look so much nicer. New pair of scissors, like what, 10 bucks? Like a good pair of scissors. I just need to do that. And I messed up my eye. Okay, now you're going to get that middle piece of string, or the middle length of string, and you want two small pieces of Scotch tape. And you're just going to, just to help you string things a lot better, on one on each end of your string. Just wrap that around. That noise is Macy, my pup, licking her paw. She is the loudest thing ever. Hopefully you don't have any issues with sound. Okay, and then the first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to keep that eye out, and I'm going to string this through that eye. Again, make sure you get every piece, and then tie a knot around that tassel. And then we start stringing our beads. You can do whatever pattern you want. This will be slightly different than the picture because I added more pink beads. Okay, and then I always string the bottom, these two pieces. You can either trim that small string, or I just go ahead and string it up through my beads. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I just figured most of you have done this multiple times. I think everybody has. I'm trying to remember. I should have gone through my forms. I'm pretty sure everyone who ordered the tier tray kits have done it before. So if I'm going too fast, do not hesitate to reach out to me, because I am more than happy to film. Either if you're a video learner, I can film a slower, more detailed video, or I can just walk you through it and type up a tutorial thing, whatever you prefer. I just don't want to drag this out if you're going to be irritated because you're like, we already know all this. Get to the details. Okay. And then once you have your beads strung, you're going to get your tag, and always gently but kind of firmly push your beads towards the end of your tassel so that there's not big gaps between your beads, because those gaps will stay if they're there. And then I string through this tag, and again, gently but firmly pull so there's no gaps. And I'm going to take this end, and so the string that's in between the bead and the tag, I am going to go underneath that to create a loop that I then can create a knot. So I'm going to get that firm, then go underneath that string. Hopefully you can see that. It creates this loop. So before I tighten it, I'm going to go through that loop and then pull it tight. And then repeat that process, because right now it's not a tight knot. So just repeat it to create the knot. Go underneath, make sure that it's in between the bead and the tag, create that loop, go through, and then pull it tight to create a knot. Then you can either trim this, but then you're gonna have a little string poking through, or I go up, back up through 4 or 5 beads before I trim, just to make sure that it kind of is stable. And I just want to make sure that it doesn't come loose. If it is difficult, like mine is being, then I just get a pair of tweezers and pull it through. I'm just gonna go through a couple more beads. And then I am going to trim. Make sure that you're cutting the correct string so that your tassel doesn't just completely fall apart. And that's it. That's how you make your tag. So please reach out to me if you have any questions on anything else. I hope you enjoyed.